So that is our enemies moving left to right. When we fire off, we can take out some of the enemies, but there's really no reason to have a base because we need to have the aliens kind of fire back. So what we're going to do, and this is what's nice with Unity and game design is, or game development, is that we can attach scripts to only certain things that we want to have certain scripts or certain components to only certain objects. So in our case, what we're going to make is another new script that we can attach to only a few of our objects, and I'll call it enemy shoot. And what enemy shoot will do is randomly shoot a bullet down at the player. And so we're going to need a few things. We need to have a random time to shoot, so shoot time. We need a counter to count when we can shoot, and then we need something to shoot down when we instantiate our object again. So with this, we need to create a new random time. We need to count to that time and spawn the bullet. So the first things I want to do is, since I'm going to be constantly getting a new time, I want to say void and set up a new method called new time. And in this new time, we're going to make sure that our counter variable that we're counting up with is reset to 0. And shoot time, we're going to use the random.range functionality and send it 2f, 5f for now. And we can modify these later. But this basically means anywhere between 2 and 5 seconds, create a random time, and that's what shoot time or counter will eventually add up to shoot time. Now I need to call this when I first start, so I need to call this under the start method to say new time. And then more importantly, under void update is where we are going to add to the counter every frame how much time has passed. And remember I said time.delta time is how many seconds have passed or go during the void update frame. So we're adding time every frame, counting basically. And then we need to check if the counter is greater than or equal to what the shoot time is. And if we are greater than or equal to the shoot time, that means we can create a bullet at our position and at our rotation of the alien. Now, not only do we have to create the bullet, but now we have to start over. So we have to get a new time. So once we've shot, say, 3.2 seconds, we're going to get a new random time, and maybe it's going to be 2.5. And then after 2.5, we're going to random range, get a new time, and it's going to be 4.3. Okay, there's all just different random numbers that happen in here. And so every time we count or we add up to how many seconds, we create the bullet and we start a new time, which zeroes out the counter and gets our random time. Again, instantiating our bullet that we connect to this bullet prefab. So I'm going to save it, come over here, and what we need to do first is make another bullet. So our bullet here is shooting upward, but we need to shoot downward. So I'm going to drag out a bullet, zoom in on it. I'm going to rename this to enemy bullet. I'm then going to make another prefab, but with this prefab I'm going to instead remove component, go to script, Command D, duplicate the bullet script, rename it to enemy bullet, no spaces, open that up, switch this to enemy bullet, and now kind of go through the script. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, if you think about it, we're still going to delete ourselves, but now instead of vector2.up, we're going to go down, and also for the obj.tag, we're not going to hit the alien anymore because that's ourselves, or the alien shoots the bullet basically. Instead, we want to check if the tag is the player. And if so, we still need to delete ourselves, but we don't want to destroy the player. Instead, you don't need to add score either. Instead, we're going to reset the game. And I'm going to leave that comment here because we will come back to this to reset the game and restart the wave at the top and have the player be at the middle. But this is it. So all I did is take this script, modified it a little bit, saved it, come back over to enemy bullet. Now with enemy bullet, if I want to add this enemy bullet script to, try that again, to the component here, that's fine. But now notice that how speed is bold, and if you look at my prefab for enemy bullet, that script isn't on there or attached. Well, what's happening is this is a copy of enemy bullet, but it isn't saved to the prefab. So anytime you make changes to a copy of a prefab and you want to apply the changes to all instances of, say, the prefab throughout your game, there is this prefab command up at the top for select, revert, and apply. Well, what I want to do is I want to hit the apply. And what that does is confirms and saves that when I click on the enemy bullet here, it contains the enemy bullet script. So sometimes you have to do that where you drag out a copy of the object, make some changes to it, hit the apply button to save it in the prefab, and then all we got to do is delete it. Now, need to go back to our scene and select, random aliens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll do 8 aliens. And with that, with those selected over here, you'll see we need to drag out enemy shoot. It's looking for our bullet, so we need to go to prefab and attach the enemy bullet prefab. So now, when we hit play, you'll see bullets start to shoot. Now, again, you can adjust the time or maybe not have as many bullets, but again, you can still shoot, but now they shoot at you. That completes it for the AI. The next thing we need to do is kind of do some scene management, level management, and some GUI.